versus Aldana. Guys, how do you see that? Real fast, throw it at me how you see it. But please, hold on, before you weigh in, because I'm going to tell you what DraftKings has, but before you weigh in, if you don't know who Aldana is, please just say, I don't know who Aldana is. And don't jump in. But it's very important. Now, Amanda is about a 3-1 favorite. And Aldana is not quite 3-1 over at DraftKings right now, but real close, right? Dana White weighed in on us over the weekend. And Dana didn't try to sell us at all. He didn't try to sell it. He didn't try to swerve it. He didn't try to sell you anything that you don't know. He made one simple comment, which is, how hungry do you think Amanda is? How hungry can she be? How hungry is it possible for her to be? And then he talked about Aldana and said she's starving for it. This is what she wants. She's been begging for it. And there's some of those stories that we really don't know. Like, a lot of fights do get lined up just because the names come up. Yeah, I got a contract with you, and I got to give you 3 fights a year, and here you go. I mean, a lot of them do come that way. And I personally like to hear stories when a challenger is begging, is reminding, is texting, is doing whatever it is they can do. Well, that social media, they got a friend over at the office and they keep calling them, or we just heard about Kamaru Usman as it pertains to Chimaev going down to the office and actually lobbying, going door to door. I mean, but I love that stuff. And I think that you guys do too. When I asked you a minute ago if you're completely familiar with Aldana, I don't blame you for saying no. That doesn't make you a lack of a fan. That's not who was supposed to be in. Juliana was supposed to be in. Venezuelan vixen, but guys, almost more times than not, these last-minute replacements, late replacement, last minute would be a little bit extreme to say in this case, it favors them. It helps. I could tell you story after story, including in the amateurs. I did about world championships and Olympic games where an alternate who wasn't supposed to be there gets pulled in and comes home with a medal. You will see athletes at all levels, from Little League where they got dad screaming in their corner, all the way up to the pros who will try to psych themselves up. You cannot psych yourself up. It is not possible. That is not a thing, but you sure as hell can be psyched out. For sure. You will not sharpen tools or bring extra tools from the locker room, but you plenty of times will see an athlete that left them there. So, I share with you, it was helpful to hear from Dana that Aldana is hungry. That's a big deal, guys. How many people have we seen fight Amanda Nunes? But be real honest. How many people have you seen fight Amanda Nunes? Not very many. 3? Is that a good guess? For sure, no more than 5. Night after night after night, it has been, okay, I got to sign this. Let me get in there. Let me get out in one piece. There's not a fight. There's not a try. There's not my skills versus your skills until one of us is left. There's not. 3 times you've seen that, maybe up to 5. The other people were just looking for a place to fall. It's very interesting if Aldana isn't scared. One thing that I've been impressed with Aldana is her boxing. And there was an article linked to DraftKings, and the author of the article made a big point about the reach, the length, and the grappling of Aldana. I don't disagree. I'm more impressed with her boxing. I am. I'm more impressed with her boxing. Boom, boom, everything is straight. There's old expressions that you'll hear when it comes to striking, but they're true. For example, speed, power thrills, but speed kills. That's a Jamie Huey almost every single day. Coach Huey will say that in boxing practice. But it's true. Wow, that speed, and she is straight down the middle, right? If you got a long reach, and she does, but if you have a long reach and you don't know how to use it, which represents almost every fighter ever. You could give Anderson Silva, you could give Jon Jones. In MMA, you could give Dan Hooker. You would almost have to, after those 3, go back to Thomas the Hitman Hearns to find somebody with a reach advantage, but they knew how to use their reach. It is extremely uncommon, but Aldana does, and it is straight. And when there's a 1 coming, there's a 2 coming right behind it. Everything's in combination. And I say that because I'll be very curious, right? DraftKings says she's a 3-1 dog. That sounds right to me. That line sounds very appropriate to me, but I will share with you, we're going to know in the first round if she has a chance. And if she can come out and use those ones and twos, it's a big deal, right? If she will just go out and mix it up. Very few will, particularly ones that think that they have a grappling advantage. They're going to go out and grapple. And like that was the thing. You'll get a full analysis from some lazy guy that used to watch back in the 90s. That was true. If you had a better grappler than a striker, that was true. You could go out and take him down. That hasn't happened since 1999. It does not work that way. It could be a black belt versus a purple belt. It would not make a bit of difference. Let me share with you with an MMA. How are you going to get a hold of him? How are you going to get him down? When you have people that are scared of Amanda, and for good reason, right? She hits awfully hard. But when you have people that are scared of Amanda and they won't get into range, that's the problem. That was the benefit that, say, Anderson saw. It was a real benefit that Anderson had. For so many years, as guys would stand in that range, they were so scared if they get touched, they were going to get knocked out, right? It was just one of these spots where when I look at Aldana, I appreciate the author. I really do. 3-1 does sound right to me. I mean, in all fairness, I'm not telling you like this is a great line. This is a very standard line. I will just share with you upsets do have some things that are in common. And the athlete that gets upset 100% of the time, regardless of the competition, finds themselves in a contest that's harder than they thought it was going to be. And that's one of the benefits that oftentimes a late replacement gets. And it's real simple math if you're Amanda. I'm using Amanda by example, right? Amanda's a very special athlete that perhaps some of these things don't pertain to, but hear me out anyway. If you're Amanda and you're prepared to beat the number one contender, you're prepared to beat the world champion or at least the former world champion. That's what you're prepared to do, and you're confident that you're going to do it. Well, if they brought in number 3, that's just a simple deduction. I was ready to beat number 1. Of course I'll beat number 3. I was getting ready to stop number 1. Of course I'll dispose of number 3, right? And it's not always a conscious thing. Sometimes it's your subconscious working, or the way that your coaches or your training partners will it's your training partners thinking they're building your confidence. Oh, Donna, she's not very good. Like, that's a thing that training partners will do, and it doesn't help. It does never help somebody to downplay the opponent as much as to be straightforward and say, here's what the strength is, here's what the weakness, here's the change within the strategy. So it was interesting when Dana brought that up. It was very interesting that he brought up how hungry is Amanda, because I've had to wonder that same thing, guys. I was in a conversation with Bamba over the weekend text exchange, and we were actually discussing Chris Cyborg. But I was telling Bamba how impressed I have been with Chris Cyborg's ability to stay so hungry and stay in the gym and stay so sharp after all the wonderful experiences and records and championships that she's had. Chris Cyborg strikes me as just as hungry, just as big of a fan, that little girl with a big dream, as she was 15 years ago. And I don't see signs of Amanda being any different. So I'm willing to concede to Dana's point. I thought it was interesting news. I'd love to hear a little bit more about it. I'm willing to concede that I do expect that Aldana is hungry. I would be surprised to learn that Amanda is taking her eye off the ball. I think that loss to Juliana, that surprise, that upset, that had the element, had the ingredient of a fight being harder than you thought it was going to be, I think it was a reminder. I don't think it was that long ago. I think it's helpful. I think it's something that she still got with her. DraftKings having it 3-1. You want to know if that's a good line? To me, it sounds right.